As students from different countries have different history, culture, and customs, the university always becomes diverse form and multicultural. Focusing on American students and Chinese students, we can clearly recognize there are obvious differences in various aspects between them. Thus, our group selects 3 points, including academic life, social life, and daily life, to discuss and show how different they are.
Hi everyone, I am Chen Yuxie and I will talk about differences of academic life between American students and Chinese students. As we know, Chinese students and American students are raised with absolutely different education systems such as Chinese exam-oriented education and American quality-oriented education. Thus, Chinese and American students must have plenty of differences in their academic life. So I select 5 main points, including study pattern, academic conduct, and study environment, the ways to solve academic problems, and class performance to illustrate that how distinguishable they are. Firstly, let me focus on study pattern. After talking to several American students, I received similar answers, for the reason that each member in the group will not only get various ideas from others, but also further improve their own quality of assignments. Most American students prefer to study in group discussion, like Zach said, because I learn better when working with other people and bouncing ideas off each other. Oppositely, Chinese students are more interested in individual study because they claim that such study pattern will give them enough time to ponder independently in a relatively quiet learning environment. Thus, they believe that individual study will be more effective. Then, the second point is academic conduct. As Eric S. Rapkin, teaching the fantasy course, wrote in his letter to students, an accusation of plagiarism is a deeply serious act and should be made only with concrete evidence behind it. American students are seriously educated and stress the negative impact of stealing others' intellectual properties. Thus, they always are concentrated on mentioning detailed and accurate information source when using others' words or ideas in their papers. However, in China, although teachers educate students that we should protect other people's intellectual properties, most students do not exactly show their attentions in their assignments. Therefore, when some Chinese students come to study in Ohio State University, they feel unaccustomed to write lots of references at the end of their papers. Once a Chinese student Jaden told me that I do not like to search and write those information sources. It is too troublesome and complex. Well, next point is study environment. On campus, we can see that American students study various places. For example, in Ohio State University, they read books near the Mirror Lake on the Oval Park, even sitting on the side of the street. It always shocks Chinese students since they believe that those places are too noisy to make them not be entirely concentrated on their assignments. A Chinese student Ran said, I go to study in Thompson Library every day because it is quiet, that nothing will make me distracted and help me improve study efficiency. However, American student Nicole gave a different answer. She enjoys reading books and writing papers outdoors, especially on the lawn, since she will feel relaxed and through all those vexations behind and just to focus on study. The fourth point is the method to solve academic problems. When having problems with their homework, American students and Chinese students usually select different methods. According to instructor Mandy Michelle teaching theater in OSU, she said that most of emails about the homework she received are from American students. Similarly, the American students team told, I prefer to email to my professor or discuss with peers. It is convenient and I can get most accurate solutions. As for Chinese students, they prefer to search data on the internet first. As Liao said on website, I will receive more comprehensive information that helps me consider the same question on several points of views, whereby I can profoundly understand my question. Finally, let me talk about differences of class performance. Nathan's article Classroom Life describes the astonishments and mal- maladjustments from international students about American class performance. They feel surprised that American students can eat, sleep, interrupt while sleepers, and even leave early in the class, and the professors do not very care about these behaviors. Besides, some American students are usually late for class and sometimes miss class or the exams. On the contrary, Chinese students perform more seriously in classroom. They go to the class regularly and take notes carefully. As for the reasons, a Chinese student Daniel said, "I just want to get more credits," and another Chinese Zijie told me that it shows the basic respect for the professors in my country, so I think it is my duty to treat the class seriously. Therefore, above 5 points are my research on the differences of academic life between American students and Chinese students.
Um, I'm Wenbo Zhang. I will introduce the differences of social life between American students and analyze reasons. There will be four parts, including communication with strangers, social activity occasion, connection between friends and families, roommate relationship. First, communication with strangers. Facing strangers, American students like to have small talk with them, while Chinese students, if not necessary, will keep silence. American students like this small talk because small talk is a bonding ritual and a strategy for managing interpersonal distance. It serves many functions in helping to define the relationships between friends, work colleagues, and new acquaintances. In particular, it helps new acquaintances to explore and categorize each other's social position, but most Chinese students are too shy to talk with strangers. Second, social activity occasion. American students tend to have a specific time period and place to have fun with friends, like parties, while Chinese students spend much time with their friends in daily life and treat every moment spent with their friends as happy hours. The reason of American students separating socializing and partying from the rest of their lives is that they value individualism very much, thus, they won't let their friends interfere their daily lives. But Chinese students treat their friends in a different way. They regard their friends as part of themselves, so they were more likely to be with their friends in daily life. Third, connection between friends and families. American students tend to treat their friends just as friends, have clear gap between friends and families. Won't let them won't let their family members meet with their friends. However, if someone is a good friend of his, Chinese students will introduce this friend to his family and they may even have a meal together. American students separate their friends from their family because they value individualism. They don't want their friends to get involved too much into their lives, like getting connected with their families, while Chinese students treat their friends sometimes just as family. Fourth, roommate relationship. American students treat roommates just as roommates and nothing else. However, Chinese students tend to treat their roommates as their close friend. American students understand that their roommates may not have the character that they like, so they distinguish their roommates from their friends. This way may make both of them and his roommates relaxed and not have to be tied by each other. Chinese students consider more about that they spend much of their college lives with their roommates, so they'll try their best to be friends with their roommates to make their college life happier.
Well, now I will talk about the differences of daily life. There are many differences of daily life between American and China students, um, such as the time of taking a shower, the time of sleep, the leisure, the way of leisure, the the style of driving. Uh, Firstly, I will talk about the time of taking a shower. Mm, the time of take a shower is different. American students like to take a shower in the morning. Why? Mm, they want to take on uh, an entirely new look to face a new day. Mm, Chinese students like to take shower at night because we want to wash the dirt out of our body and have a good rest. Secondly, the time of sleep. The time of sleep is different. American students usually go to bed very late because they usually do their homework at first and then they will play with their friends. Therefore, they usually go to bed very late. Chinese students go to bed earlier, um, and it made because we have different culture and habit. Uh, it's it's very different. I think this. Thirdly, American students and Chinese students have different leisure ways. Many American students like to have a party when they want to play with their friends. They also like doing some exercise, such as playing basketball and football. I also like play basketball because it can keep my body health. Chinese students like to go shopping and watch a movie when they have leisure time. Mm, then I will talk about the style of dressing. Many American students' dressing style is very hip hop, and many of them like to wear stockings. But Asian students like to wear socks, and there are not many Chinese students' dressing style is very hip hop. Um, why? I think this is because the different culture. In my opinion, I really like the dressing style of American students. Different culture make different clothes and dressing style. It's very cool. Finally, the summary. There are many differences between two countries' students because we have different history and culture. As far as I'm concerned, many students come from different countries, but we should make cultural exchange uh, when we have space time. When we have space time. Mm, that's all. Thank you.